Oh, good gravy. I think it is time to officially kiss goodbye to the British summertime, say hello to the cold, dark, wintry rubbishness. But if you're like me and you live in the UK, I'm here to tell you that there are a couple of hugely positive benefits to training in the winter. I'm going to have to stop to talk. The first huge positive is that training in the dark or the wet or the cold, like getting yourself up in the morning before your alarm would normally go off and getting out in that dark and grinding a session out, or getting home, eating, and then having to pick yourself back up and get yourself out to train after that later in the evening, that builds a certain type of mental resilience, like a grit that I just don't think is accessible to people who live in a place where the weather is reasonable all year round. Training in the adversity really builds this mindset that anything is possible and you can defeat anything, and I really believe that. Okay, I mean, I literally just walked down into the woods to say that bit because I've just been for a 15k run and my legs are in bits. I'll take you back home for the second point. And the second huge benefit, you'll have to excuse me, I've changed my clothes because I've had my shower after my run, but the second huge benefit of winter training is that you get to take stock of what went well in the season just gone, what you could have done better, and then you can spend the winter putting it right with some focus. And that's what this week's vlog is all about, because I'm here to give you a very rough guide, but a guide on how to make a season plan to make sure that you get to your A race, whichever race that you've decided you want to do next season and is your priority, in the best shape possible using the winter, so there's no wasted miles and every session counts. And we're going to jump into it on the computer here. A basic season plan is actually very straightforward. I use Training Peaks, but I'm showing you the way that I used to do it before that. I start with an Excel spreadsheet and just basically created a calendar of the year, making sure to have a bigger box for the date and goals to go in, and a smaller one to colour code what those dates relate to in a training cycle, because I have colour OCD. Once you have the dates in, I just copy them from my iPhone and write them in. I write in my target race, the thing I'm aiming for that season. To keep it simple, I've left out the other goals earlier in the season that could complicate the planning, as we're just looking at the principles in this tutorial. The first thing I then do is give myself a 2-week taper. That's a reduction in volume to freshen you up ready for race day, usually about 2 weeks, unless it's a 5k or 10k, and then you could probably get away with a week taper. After that, I add my build blocks. For this tutorial, blocks are going to be 4 weeks in length, which is 3 weeks of work and 1 week of recovery. Build blocks are where we either increase the intensity and add speed and strength sessions in if we're not going too long, or we increase volume of training if we're marathon or Ironman training. For a non-trained athlete, I'd say 2 build blocks will be absolutely fine. Any more and you could end up overtraining and getting injured. It's important to note that this is only a basic plan and not everyone responds to the 3-week, 1 week block. Some people work on 2-to-1, but this is the most common, so tweak it to suit you. After 2 or maximum 3 build blocks, we start adding the base blocks. These are essential to any distance and are often where the hard miles are put in at low intensity. We're building base fitness for a good chunk of time to put the harder work on top later on. A friend and good coach once used the analogy, you can't fire a cannon out of a canoe, meaning no base work, then you won't be able to truly put the hammer down when you need to. Base is usually the longer but slower training, working the aerobic system. And because I have time, I've put a month of prep, basically just having structure and training but not doing too much, preparing my body for the increased training load to come. And there it is, a plan for the season and what you need to consider to smash your goals out of the park. Oh, and I always take a little time off after the event because my body will thank me in the long run. And there you have it, the basics behind what us coaches use in terms of knowledge to plan your seasons. Now, of course, like I said before, lots of athletes respond and react in very different ways, so that is a very basic guide, but that's the theory behind how you plan your season. Now all you got to do is get your A race in the calendar and work backwards to make sure that you nail it and are ready for the day. If you've got any questions at all, genuinely just give me a shout. No problems, I'm happy to answer them on this video or on Instagram, however you want to contact me. Also, I'm setting up a Strava exercise group called This Messy Happy that anyone, if they want to, can join. You can see what I'm doing day to day in terms of my training, and you can see what everyone else who joins in the group will be doing, and we can support each other, chat to each other, and just see what each other are up to. So if that's something that interests you, then it should be there by the time you watch this video, the Strava group called This Messy Happy. As always, thanks for being part of the journey, you absolute legends. I don't know what next week's vlog's going to be about, to be honest with you, but it'll be there on Sunday, and hopefully you'll stick around to watch it. I'll see you then.